Celebrating Freedom and Nature and Art. I'm so excited for today. Today is my 3-year anniversary celebration. So, can't go wrong there, right? Good. It's amazing how fast 3 years has gone by. And it wouldn't be anything if it wasn't for you and for my amazing guest speakers. And today it is my honor to have Adriana assisting me with this, and Starly, and all of my other guest speakers that showed up. They're always behind the scenes, they're always helping, they're always promoting on their own pages. So I encourage each one of you to follow them. And if they can help you in any way with a class, with their coaching, be sure to join them. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Adriana, did you have anything?
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for having me as a guest host. And I love your program, and I love all the people that show up. They're pure heart, and it's just amazing what I've learned through a lot of the people, how inspired I've been. And
So,
just look forward to more of this.
and so yes. And I asked each person, a guest speaker that is here today, to share a win or a short story or something that they're working on right now. And our first guest is going to be Coach Dea. And if you go ahead and unmute yourself, thanks.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Tammy, for having me here again, and Adriana for
Hello? Can anybody else hear Coach Dea, or is it just me?
Yeah, I think she's frozen.
Oh, no.
Yes, it's only her because I see everyone else moving.
Okay.
Oh, darn.
So,
Yeah, there's Starly moving.
oh
And
no,
KLS.
we lost you, Coach Dea.
Hello, hello.
This is the dance intermission.
Okay. We'll put some music on for her. So that is so strange. We lost her
Hey,
completely.
Cecile.
I like
I'm seeing
Cecile.
Cecile.
Let's follow Cecile.
Yes. Yeah, Cecile, lead us.
All right. So then who did we have next, Adriana?
We'll circle back.
Let's
Yes,
circle
we'll
back.
circle back. You know, let's
We
bring
have
is
Lisa, right?
Yes, is Lisa here? Oh, there
I
she is.
am.
Hi,
I am
Lisa.
here. Hi, thank
Good
you
to
for
see you.
having
It's
me,
been so
ladies.
long.
I'm very happy to be here. My name is Lisa Branken. I am the founder and CEO of Be Creative Agency. I am also an award-winning television producer and two-time best-selling author. And so I had the pleasure of being with Tammy 3 years ago. And over the past 3 years, Tammy, I am happy to say that something really beautiful shifted for me. You know, I made a conscious decision to truly live and prioritize experience and connection and adventure more so than I had ever done before. And I've always been a traveler. So this time I was doing it with great intention. And I followed the calling, and that was to explore the world more deeply. And in so doing, I found parts of me that I didn't even know were waiting. So I had the opportunity to spend some time in Scotland, and I moved between the vibrance of Edinburgh and the quiet expanse of the Scottish Highlands. And I think that what really was most meaningful to me were the moments that I didn't even plan. They were the simple ones, like walking through the forest and breathing in the ancient air and connecting with the locals whose stories felt woven into the land. And from there, I went to Ireland, and that experience was totally different because I was guided by what I would call a modern day shaman. And I got to explore all the deeply spiritual places like standing in Newgrange and being and learning the history and the mystery and the energy feeling otherworldly, or traveling to the Burns where you have prehistoric rocks and it's an invitation to meditate and go within. And that trip reminded me how powerful it is to really slow down, to listen to the earth and to listen to yourself. So it was quite an amazing experience, followed by another one with a dear friend who is now my business partner. Her name is Vivi, and her homeland is Romania. And she invited me to come to meet her papa and to explore her country. And I will say that Romania is a hidden gem. You know, it has a beauty and a life of its own, and it feels alive. And I drove her papa's car through the Carpathian Mountains, and I was totally mesmerized and awestruck by it all. And you're just surrounded by forests, and it just creates a landscape that's very, very magical. So with that, I traveled back to Italy with my family and friends, and that's like traveling back to my roots. I attended a spectacular wedding in Calabria, and that is the birthplace of my grandmother. And so it's always very emotional for me to go back to Italy because I feel like more than a guest, I feel like I'm connected to the land through generations. And after that, I was off to Torino and Switzerland and Germany, all beautiful places that have a rhythm of its own. But when I came back to the United States, I decided to retrace my childhood because there were good memories and not so many good memories there in Lake Luzerne, New York, which is in the Adirondacks. And I was surrounded by those beautiful landscapes, and it was a reminder of when I would ride my horse through the mountainsides there, through the paths. And it was really very beautiful to reconnect with the younger version of myself and to remember where it all began. And I think it's an important journey for all of us to be on. So with all of that being said, you know, I think that nature for me is like a constant teacher. It reminds me to be open and to trust and to flow. And I think unlocking freedom in nature is a reminder that we can always come back to ourselves again and again, no matter where we may be in the world. And so here I am now. After all my travels, I had an unexpected phone call, which was really quite lovely from somebody who is a follower of my community, the writing of the book, and has become a dear friend. And she needed a branding and marketing agency for her project, which spoke directly to my heart. So me and my partner, Vivi from Vivi Global Partners, since November of 2025, are working alongside Olivia Ramirez Smith and the Mother Earth Effect. And we're helping to elevate her company, her products, and her newest book, which Tammy was a part of. So congratulations on becoming a #1 best-selling author, Tammy.
Thank you.
And you know, I get to do it all from the beautiful parts I get to do from my home right across from the ocean. And so I'm feeling incredibly blessed in life. And I thank you for allowing me to share the experience. You know, the 3-year journey was saying yes, yes to adventure, yes to connection, and yes to a life that's fully aligned. So thank you.
Well, thank you. It's been amazing. And thank you so much for sharing all your photos and your journey with us. I actually love your photos.
Thank you.
I don't think people realize that just when you share photos or a little bit of the story or where you're going, how encouraging it is, especially if you're not able to get outside at that time yourself. So thank you so much. I know it's been my blessing and an honor to have you and to know you. So
Thank you so much. Same here. Feeling is mutual.
thank you. And thanks, Corey, for introducing us.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
that's how I got to know a little bit about you, Lisa, through the writing of the book.
Oh, how wonderful. Well,
Yeah,
we're
because
5 years.
Corey was my mentor as well for a while.
Incredible. She's an incredible woman with a lot of brilliance, and she's making a great impact. And I'm sorry she's not here with us today, but her schedule has been incredibly busy. And we're 5 years into the writing of the book. And so we're always
Wow.
happy to see all of these beautiful women connecting with one another and
Yes.
going off and creating businesses on their own together. So we're advocates of female entrepreneurs and happy that you're all on board with us.
oh
Yes.
yeah. Well, I always
Absolutely.
encourage people to join because our groups are so similar. We're all similar in ways. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. Yeah, Corey couldn't be here today. She has other obligations, and sending her hugs anyway. So thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
So what
And
do we have next?
Did
I
Coach
think,
Daya come back? I was wanting
that's
to
what I was
listen to
looking.
her.
I haven't signed her back in, so my guess is she lost service
oh,
or
yes, wherever
something.
she
Yeah.
is. Yeah, I don't see her either on the list.
Okay.
Right.
So who did we
Okay,
have?
well,
Did
I
we have?
guess we continue moving and
Yep.
we'll slip her in as soon as we get her
Yes,
back.
if she comes back, definitely.
Okay, so next on the list, we have Olivia.
But
And
she's not here.
oh, she's not here.
No.
Okay, well, moving on then.
So if anybody is interested in entering, I have all the coaches, all the speakers' names on the list already. But if you're interested in winning a book or one of the blankets that she's giving away for Earthing, and this is the latest book, please enter. Please just in the comments put a heart or put Olivia's name. So, and we'll do a drawing later.
And I can enter too.
Yes, you were entered. Each one of you was entered. So I know Olivia, and I just want to do a shout out for Olivia. If you have not, she has several books. She is just a blessing to all. She is so calm. We've been friends for a few years, and she's always helping and encourage somebody, and her earthing products are amazing. So be sure to check her out, and I'll have more of her stuff later. So next we have Corinne.
Okay. Well, hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, first of all, I'm so inspired just listening to Lisa and travels and finding her heart and soul around the world and history and ancestry. And it's a big step to follow in those boots, but I'm going to do my best because I too am very, very touched by being in nature and being in touch with our history and what matters to us. So I'm an artist, a watercolor artist by sort of my main gift in the art world, if you will. But I've been painting all my adult life and instructing and doing some design work. But recently, I returned after doing design work on a beautiful island called Maui for a long time, got back to the mainland and found myself living close to, let me show you this, a roadway that took me to Smith Rock Parks. So I drove down a road looking like this, and this rock was looming ahead. And it's this incredible area of the world called Smith Rock Park, which has the Crooked River going through it. It's a world destination for rock climbers, but it's also a world destination to be close to nature and be empowered by it. And it definitely had an effect on my life where I was doing other kinds of art expression, but being where you hear the sounds of nature, water, the birds, just the beauty of the land and the power of it, and what Mother Nature does to create such outstanding effects does certainly inspire one. And so since that time, I found that my work has taken this big change in expression, and I started doing my watercolor on canvas. It's pretty new and different for a painter, but it's opened up opportunity to be more intuitive, more in tune to the push and pull or feel of what an artist wants to express, to put in and take away and put back into work. And that all comes from the experience of being in nature and feeling it first to try and express it. So another one I did, this more of a moody one that I did after a day where a storm was coming in, was this. The wind was coming in, the birds were flying through, and I felt like the cool purples kind of were about how life changes from sun to shade to shadow, and our job is to dance through it one way or the other and be affected by it in a way that matters. And so I'm enjoying that nature now is in my own backyard. After myself many years of traveling, living on an island in the middle of the Pacific, and that was Maui, and doing my own art tours in Europe, which history is so true to us. Isn't it true when you land in a country where you have a heritage, you feel not a visitor, but a connected soul there, that you have a reason why you feel connected through the energy of our generations that have gone before. So all that is so significant in helping develop life values. But coming back to my own backyard, I sort of feel like in the Wizard of Oz when it's right in my own backyard. I've got right there Smith Rock Park. So now I'm doing bigger pieces like this that also have life, mood, and mystique. And I feel like my world as an artist has turned to a whole new expression because nature has had an impact in its beauty and its substance and its resilience. And why not us as a human species? Please, human species, let us be humans that care about our environment and help it nurture our lives as we nurture nature's life. And so, okay, so with that in mind, I have a little something from the desert. So I live in the wintertime, I live in Coachella Valley, which is, that's my phone going off. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
I have to let it ring. In Coachella Valley where I teach art, I'm going to give away agave because an agave cactus down here gives a lot of life. It has a lot of meaning. Its juices are quite worthwhile. You know, agaves do all kinds of good things for our bodies. So that's my giveaway. And if you just want to put it for a drawing later, Tammy, that would be
You
great.
want it for a drawing later for them to comment on the painting, or I can do a spin now, whatever you want.
Okay. Well, why don't you do a spin now? That'd be kind
Okay.
So this
All
is-
right. I
Yes,
put
okay.
in everybody's names.
We do a drum roll.
You're done.
We could.
It's an agave. It's original watercolor.
Wow.
I will share my screen to see if this works. Right, let's see.
Oh, okay.
wins.
Give one of those.
Lisa Branken, you just won.
Oh,
Thank you.
There you go, Lisa.
I'm
A little touch of,
honored. Thank you so much.
you have a little bit of the
Oh,
desert. and
congratulations, Lisa.
The healing
Thank
power of
you.
agave and original watercolor. And thank you for sharing your life to touch our lives. And
Thank
that's the way
you.
it works, right? So we're
The
grateful
work
for
is
that.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I look forward to framing it and hanging it proudly.
Well, what a great.
Oh my gosh.
I'm touched by that too. Well, thank you, ladies. I'm looking forward to getting to know you more. I would love to read the book Mother Earth Effect. I feel very strongly that this Mother Earth we have is the genesis of life right here, very specifically for us to love. So, okay, that's my feeling.
Oh, that's
Well,
beautiful.
thank you so much, Corinne. Corinne's amazing, and we're actually kind of related. So I'll be seeing her
Yeah.
at my niece's wedding here in a
We're-
Oh,
month.
wow.
So,
So I have a quick
Cousins.
question for Corinne. Are you in Maui full time?
No,
now?
I came back to the mainland and I'm living between California. I'm in the Coachella Valley where I teach art and in the winter. But in the main part, my primary main part, the summers, late spring and fall, I'm in our new home on a canyon rim in Redmond, Oregon, which is Central Oregon, right
Yeah.
near this beautiful Smith Rock Park, which is a stunning world destination for rock climbing. So I'm in Oregon in the main part of the summer and fall. So
Oh, Bend is beautiful. I'm in Vancouver, Washington, and we have property in the Grants Pass area of
oh, you
Oregon.
do? Oh, well, we're nearly neighbors. Hello.
Nearly, yes.
Yes.
so I also want to say hi to Olivia who's watching and Eva. So I wanted to say hi real quick. So thank you so much, Corinne. I appreciate you. I know you have a guest and
I
had to
do.
get to the airport.
Well, yes, but I do want to put out an invitation that if anyone wants to come to Central Oregon, keeping track of each other through Tammy's beautiful website, Unlocking Freedom in Nature and Art. I would gladly lead you through the most incredible, inspirational walk through Smith Rock Park along the Crooked River, and we'd have a wonderful time. So the welcome door is open. Anyway,
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you so much. Are you available this weekend?
yeah, soon though. I'm still in the desert, but soon I'll be up there in May.
Yes, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. And yes, let's see who's are we ready for our next guest? Tammy?
So we're going to have Sierra.
All right. Where's Sierra?
Welcome,
Oh, there she
Sierra.
is.
Hi.
Hi.
I had messaged, but that's fine. I was not super prepared. So I looked at
Oh,
the
well, we can switch this to Renee
yeah.
first.
Yeah, let's do Renee first.
Okay, Renee.
Perfect.
There we go. Hi, Renee.
And I'm going to
Hi,
sit
Tammy,
everybody out to
Adriana, Lisa. You said something, Lisa?
Unfortunately, I have others calls planned, but I want to bid everybody adieu and have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your podcast. Thank you, Tammy. You're the best.
Thank you,
Bye, Lisa.
Lisa. Thank you.
Bye.
Appreciate you. Have a great day.
Thank
Welcome,
Yeah.
Renee. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for having me. Really, it's a privilege and an honor to be here and to share a bit of my story as well. For those who don't know me, I am Belgium originally, Europe, Belgium, and I run my business for 20 years in Belgium. And then after 20 years, I found out I paid like 60 to 70% in taxes. And I was like, for me, nah, we're not going to continue this. So I moved my business to London where I paid 20%, which was a difference about 40%. And that was an awful lot of money. But then today, more than ever in London and in the UK in general, taxes are rising, skyrocketing. It's crazy. Plus, London is a big crime city today. So, and then due to some friends and some colleagues and stuff, I said, hey, why don't you go to Dubai? And I said, well, that might be an idea. And then I recently moved here to Dubai and started a new company, same industry, but new company in Dubai, and it's going well. If it wasn't for, we all know what's happening in the world, right? A couple of our neighbors here are playing something weird. Anyway, let's not go there. But the thing is, in terms of nature, what I had the experience is that in 2002 I traveled through the whole of the US. I did 9 states in 1 month time, from east to west. Not really east, but from Chicago, southern states to LA. And that was quite an experience to go through all these beautiful natural parks, like we got Painted Desert. I did the Monument Valley, did the Grand Canyon, did all kinds of Big Bear Lake stuff. It was amazing experience to do that. Also, I went to an Indian powwow. Was invited. I don't know if you know what an Indian powwow is, but it's where all kinds of Indian tribes come from all over the place, like North America, South America, Middle America. I mean, they all come together and they have a big, let's say, party, and they sing and they dance, and it was an amazing experience to have that. But yeah, in terms of the business, I mean, Tammy, you know that if there's any, I don't know if anybody knows this, but I've been sharing in my business. I teach body language and communication in general. I shared 10 years of my life with Tony Robbins, and that was an amazing experience as well, worldwide. And after 10 years in 2023, about 3 years ago, I said, listen, I have to move on with my company because it's asking a lot of energy to do that, to work with that guy. If there's anybody, is there anybody in the room who doesn't know Tony Robbins? I mean,
I don't know him.
he is full of energy. I can
Yes.
guarantee you that. But I learned a lot from the guy as well. And then in 2020, sorry, when the pandemic hit, I had to fly to Australia for Tony in Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne to represent him and do trainings and stuff. But I got how shall I say, I got stuck in Australia because of the COVID. There was no airplanes going back to Europe. So I was for 5 months in Australia. And to get back to the subject about nature and stuff, is that I had an amazing experience in terms of nature in Australia. For those who've never been to Australia, please go. It's an amazing experience. I mean, there's even more camels in Australia than there's camels in the
Really?
Arabic world. And then here in the Middle East, I said, no, that's not possible. I said, go to Australia, you'll find out.
Wow.
And yeah, I had some interactions with kangaroos and koalas and also spiders and snakes and stuff. So yeah, name it, they have it. Scorpio. But that was a really amazing experience. I mean, for some people would say like 5 months in Australia. Oh my goodness! I said, well, that was the most beautiful time of my life when it comes to the traveling, the road trips, which were forbidden, but we did them anyway. But it was nice. But during the period that how long do we know each other, Tammy? It's been quite a while, right?
It's been a
3, 4 years, 5 years?
while, at least 5 years, right?
Yeah. And then I met she's no longer here.
Lori.
How is her name?
Lori.
Lori, in Texas, when I was in Texas in 2023 or 2024, I can't remember. I was in Texas, had an amazing experience there as well in terms of burritos and Mexican food.
Yes.
But the only thing if I would make a resume of what I've been doing the last 30 years, 30, and the last 30 years in this business, in this industry, is that if you want something, you just go for it. Just go for it, do it, and claim it. That's the only thing I can say. I mean, when I was in school as a little kid, I was bullied like crazy. And then when I turned 17, I said, you know what, I'm going to prove myself to the world. And what I did is I applied for the Navy and I got in. And people say, how do you do that? You're a good for nothing. How can you do this? You're not smart. You're a dumb et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, all right, let's do it. But then I saw people with stars and stripes and I said, if they can, why not me? And I applied and I got in. And they said, man, how do you do that? I said, I don't know. I did know, it's all about discipline and perseverance and stuff. And then one day, so I became an officer in engineering in the armed forces. And then one day I saw people jumping out of airplanes and I was 19, 20 years old. I said, what the heck, let's apply. And said, don't do that. I'm going to drop you in war zone. You're going to get killed and stuff. And I said, well, I did it anyway. And had an amazing time jumping out of airplanes. And then one day I was sitting on my hiney in a logistic aircraft, watching the pilot because there's no doors in there, right? So in these big logistic army aircrafts, there's no doors. So I saw the pilot and I said, wow, that guy has an amazing job. So the rest is history. I applied and I got in, and a year later I was flying my own plane in the armed forces. So I went from being a bullied kid with 3 times nothing to a pilot in the forces. So this is what is the story. It's not about me. It's about, if you want something, and especially for whoever is in this room here, if you want something, just go and get it, and don't wait upon anybody. That's all I can say. And the traveling taught me a lot of things about culture, about nature, about the different forms of nature, the different forms of culture. Yeah, it's been an amazing experience so far, and I was privileged to get to know you, Tammy, and a lot of other people in this group. Lisa is gone, but I met Lisa many years ago as well. And I can only say, if you want something, just go for it and do it, and don't wait upon anybody. That's all I can say. Yeah, I think that's about it for me. Tammy.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I know we have a lot of people in this room, and it's awesome because you guys get to meet each other and you share with the community. And our community is so blessed to have you guys as speakers. So I appreciate it.
May I just quickly say, yes, thank you. I love the just go for it. That applies on all walks of our life. And that's as simple as that is, it's poignant, and I appreciate that. And I just want to say my big thank you to everyone, and Tammy in particular. I love you to death, Tammy. You're an incredible lady, and I'm so glad you're my friend. And that we all get to learn from each other. And I look forward to giving my painting to Lisa. I wish everyone a wonderful day, lots of blessings, and go out and enjoy nature, right? Let's go get nature. Take care of Mother Earth. We love our Mother Earth. Okay, I'm going to have to sign off.
Bye.
That's beautiful, Karen. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure to be here and get to meet people. Okay, have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Tammy.
Yes? Okay, were you going to give a book away?
It's through Amazon, so.
Okay, or an Amazon. So did you want me just to spin, or did you want them to comment the name of your book or something?
What works? I mean, for me, it's all the same. I've got one book I would love to give away, and if you want to spin, that's okay too for the people in the room. That would be, yeah, maybe.
Okay.
The only thing I can't do is personally sign it. I can't do that because it's going to come through Amazon.
So if you don't live in Dubai, he'll give you a gift card to Amazon for it. Is that correct? Or you'll send it?
Or I'll send it, or if the people share their address, I'll make sure that the book will be ordered through Amazon and be delivered at the address of the person who wins the book. Does that make sense?
Otherwise, since I won last year, it'll take a year to receive it. But I do have a signed and autographed copy. And I have to tell you,
have an autographed one,
the book, and he sent me, because I was waiting for it, he sent it to me digitally, and it is fantastic. So you will love Renee and his story.
Yeah. Thank you for
awesome. All right, let's spin the wheel here. Just 1 second, and I'll share the screen.
Okay, drum roll.
There we go. And the winner is Vanessa Kelly. She's in our group,
Yay.
and I don't think she's here today, but she is fun and she's always sharing. So, Vanessa Kelly.
All right. Maybe if you can connect me on I don't know, Instagram or social media, Facebook or whatever.
Okay.
Or if you can let her know that she won the book, and then
I will. I'll put you in. I've asked her to actually speak because she had a head injury herself. So
oops, okay.
before. So
And just
thank
to
you,
clarify-
Renee. I appreciate that.
Just to clarify one thing about the book, I promised Irene for a while the book, right? Irene, you remember that, right? But when I started, like, okay, I'm gonna post it, I'm gonna put it in the post. What happened is I could not post it because of the tax. How you call that? The tax from Trump. Trump had like taxes on the
Trump,
Belgian
yeah.
things,
And it
and
was-
tax increase. And in Belgium, they did not know how to handle packages to post them to the US. I said, you got to be kidding me. So it took so long to even post it from Belgium to, because I was in Belgium at that
Yeah.
time. Now I'm in Dubai, but it took so
You
long
want to talk
post
about
it. It was
But you want to talk
Yeah.
about diligence, Renee. I got the book. He didn't give up.
No.
Awesome.
And if you don't want to go in, if you don't know where to go in holiday, please, Habibi, come to Dubai, you know. And I'm gonna shut my mouth because
Hey, you and Patty both live over there, so I need to visit. So I want to
Yeah.
say hi to Ika and Pam as well. So thanks for being here. We appreciate everyone is watching, and I don't see everybody, but thanks for sharing, Renee. Renee, you always share so much, and you share a lot of golden nuggets. So I can imagine your book is full of them.
it's
thank you
560
so much.
pictures. There's plenty of pictures in there. So yeah. All right.
Oh,
But thank you for having me, Tammy. Really appreciate it. And thank you, all of you, to listen to my information.
all right. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Renee. That was so great. And yeah, we need to talk because we need to catch up on several things.
So I
Yeah,
can
absolutely.
imagine.
I mean, feel free. We're connected, right?
Yes, I believe we are. So I will look that up. So
And I know you guys are
Dubai. Jeez.
probably at least connected in our Warrior Wisdom group too. So
Oh yes, yes. we
otherwise, I'll
are.
make sure you are. So
Yes.
Sierra, are you ready to?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
I was gonna say you're always impromptu.
Yeah, I do. I do a lot of impromptu stuff. So hi to anyone who doesn't know me. I'm Sierra Lewick. I've had my own business for the last 6 years now. I'm shocked that it's been 6 years. It just seems like it flies by so fast. And before that, I was a stay-at-home mom. I have 5 kids. My oldest is 19. My youngest is 8. And I've been married for 21 years. It'll be 22 this summer. And my husband is an Army veteran. So those are some of the highlights of my life. And that being said, I think one of the biggest transformational moments in my life was probably the health issues that my son had. And I know I've shared that on a previous talk with you, Tammy. I've been on your show
You too,
a
few
couple
times, and it's
Yeah.
always been incredible. So thank you.
So with my son, for anyone who doesn't know, I'd love to share an update. It's so cool. So my son, when he was 11 years old, we discovered that he had a brain tumor. And the way that we discovered he had a brain tumor was he was actually 11, cooking in the kitchen, because we raised all of our kids to be able to take care of themselves and be self-sufficient and help out around the house. And so he was making grilled cheese on a Saturday afternoon. And it was in the middle of summer, and it was great. He was cooking food for everybody. The only issue I had was his older sister and him were fighting that day. And then all of a sudden I heard his sister being really, really nice to him. And I was like, okay, that's weird. And so from the other room, she was just like, Israel, are you okay? Israel, did you burn yourself? And so I tapped my husband on the lap because we have a big open concept. He's on the couch with me. And so I tapped him. I'm like, hey, can you go check on them? And so he gets up and goes around to the kitchen, and it's just really quiet. And I'm like, that's odd. So I stand up, I go in the kitchen, and to my horror, It's dead silent, and my husband is holding my son's hands over the sink. And I look at his hands, and the skin on his fingers and palms on both hands looked like cooked egg noodles. And he had picked up the hot pan and held onto it long enough to get second and third degree burns. And it seemed like that silence lasted forever, but then suddenly he snapped to and started screaming bloody murder and was freaked out and in pain. And it was just chaos from there. And so my husband and I, our daughter, she was 12 at the time, suddenly had to become a babysitter for her siblings. So she was sitting there at the house with her siblings. My husband and I took our son down to the emergency room, which was about 30 minutes away. And when we got down there, they actually didn't even have the proper doctors for that kind of injury. So we ended up having to drive an hour and a half in the opposite direction, picked up all of our kids and took them to the next hospital. And while we were at the hospital, we discovered what had happened because my son ended up having, because I told my husband, I was like, maybe it was a seizure. Like the only time I'd ever seen one was our 2-year-old had febrile seizures from really high fever of like 105. But it didn't look like that. Like there was no shaking, there was no none of that. And so he ended up having one in front of my husband. My husband took him to the bathroom to keep an eye on him at the hospital. And he ended up just like stalling out while he was going to sit down and just messing himself. And it was, that obviously that's very embarrassing. And it was something that my husband actually got to witness. And so he's like, I think you're right. I think it's a seizure. I've never seen one like this before either. And what they're called is focal seizures. And so focal seizure is where the person's body is still operating. So whatever was programmed by the mind for the body to do, the body continues to do, even though the person has gone. The person has essentially left the building because it's a seizure. So they're not there. And he continued to have seizures like this for the next few months. We tried different medications. Some were uppers, some were downers. The uppers made him down, the downers made him up. It was so weird. He was already kind of depressed because he lost his ability to literally do everything. And then I also sunk into a depression. And so for 2 months, I didn't do anything. I was crying every day. I didn't know how to handle it. I thought I did everything right. I deprived my kids of sugary sweets all the time. I deprived my kids of like certain things that I loved growing up because I thought it was the healthy and the right thing to do. And still my son got sick. And so just some things like didn't make sense to me. And so through that experience, it was this moment of clarity that I can't even explain. I can't even describe like how much it impacted me, but it has never left me to this day. And there was this moment where my son was on a certain medication. By the way, he ended up having to get 4 skin graft surgeries and have brain surgery in that year. And this was the year before COVID. So we were quarantining before COVID due to hospital regulations. So I ended up taking my tears into my closet because this one day I came out and I went to my son's bedroom and I saw him with a sheet and he was trying to noose himself. He had lost his friends. He had lost his ability to do anything. He had lost his ability he couldn't be on the computer. He couldn't create anything. He was trying to work on building a lawn mowing business, couldn't do that anymore, couldn't do schoolwork, couldn't draw, couldn't write, couldn't hold a book to read it, couldn't hold a remote to change channels on TV, couldn't feed himself, had to have me, his mom, as an 11-year-old young man, take him to the bathroom, had to have his dad help him shower. He'd lost everything. And his friends were little jerks who like picked on him and made fun of him because when kids don't know something, that's just the natural thing to do is to joke about it. And so he lost all of his friends and he was incredibly depressed. And I walked in on him trying to noose himself one time. And I was just like, I can't let my son die. And so that was when I started taking those tears into the closet and hiding them there and coming out. And essentially, he mentioned Tony Robbins earlier, but essentially being the Tony Robbins for my family, I would come out and I would just speak life. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to have an amazing day because we're going to make it amazing. What are we going to do today? And I started just being that person for my family. And then at night, I would just go in my closet and I'd cry. And it started some really like crazy patterns for me that I'm still working through, but it was really what we needed in the time. And there was one day that I came out from my closet and I remember my son saying, well, I can't do my business now. And he was really down on himself and frustrated. And we had been watching The Last Dance with Michael Jordan. It's that documentary about Michael Jordan. We'd been watching that together with him. And I realized in that moment that he is seeing Michael Jordan and he is seeing Mr. Beast, and he's seeing these other YouTubers that he watched all the time. He's seeing them succeed, but it's all third-hand knowledge, and he didn't have it firsthand. And so that day I came out to him, and when he was saying, you know, I feel like I can't do what I want to do anymore, Mom. And I looked at him and I said, you know, you can do and be whatever you want in life as long as you pursue it with all of your might. And that's when it hit me like a punch to the gut that I wasn't doing that. I wasn't showing him firsthand. And so that was when I decided to start pursuing my business. And I did. And I failed miserably again and again and again. I did my first event. I had 3 people show up who paid for it. One of those people was my mom. The other one was my aunt, who my mom paid for. And then the other person was somebody else who was in the same program as me at the time. And she was being nice and bought a ticket. And so, like, not a great start. And that next year I hired a mentor, and that mentor was the one that was the catalyst for me. And that was when I really launched my business. And it was like the last week of that program. It was week number 10. And I got my first client, and it was a $3,800 client, which was life-changing for me, because before that, stay-at-home mom making $0 per month. And then I started, the first month I collected on we did a 2-pay. So it was $1,900 my first month. Then the next month, he had gotten amazing results in the first 2 weeks where I was helping him raise his dead group. He pulled 10K from it in the first 2 weeks from a dead group that he hadn't posted in 2 years. And so I was like, cool, I'm raising my prices. That's a great result. And so then the next month I charged more, and I made $7,700 that month. And then the next month I brought in 3 new clients and made $12,000. And then the next month I brought in 3 more clients and made $20,000. And in my first 6 months of business, I'd made $100,000. And that completely transformed the path that my family was on, and how we had a relationship with money and what we did and where we lived and where we are. And so now, instead of living in Oklahoma, which was where Uncle Sam sent us, we are living in the Smoky Mountain area, like the foothills of the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee. It's gorgeous. There's waterfalls everywhere. There's rivers that are actually crystal clear instead of brown, like in Texas, where I grew up. And it's just absolutely beautiful. And I mean, I actually have this big window in my office, and outside there are trees that turn colors in the fall, that flower in the spring. And I get to see like all kinds of animals and wildlife and stuff that I never saw before. And so it's amazing how we go through these really hard moments in life. But I really feel like those hard moments are part of our character arc, because I don't think I ever would have stepped out of my husband's shadow. And I did everything for my husband prior to that. I don't think I ever would have stepped out of his shadow into my own thing had those really dark moments with my son not happened. And so I don't know why that had to be the catalyst for me to launch and start my own business, but I am so very grateful that I did, because the transformation that I've had over the last 6 years has been it's been phenomenal. And I'm so grateful for who I am now. And I have 0 regrets. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I've done a lot of things wrong. I've done some things that, like, I grew up in the church that, like, if they knew, I'm like, they would not like me as much, you know, but it's like, I just don't even care anymore, because I love who I am now. And so I'm just so very, very grateful for those dark moments that cause those beautiful character arcs. Like, I don't think that life is supposed to be perfect. Life is supposed to be beautiful. And beauty doesn't come from just everything being perfect all the time. If all we ever saw were roses, we'd get bored of roses. You know, it's like we need the different flowers. We need the different colors. If all I ever saw was the same color sunset every single day, like we see blue skies every day. You know how beautiful the color blue is, but how boring it is because we see blue every day. So when we see a pink sky or a purple sky or an orange sky, it's amazing. Like, the differences in life make life beautiful. The darkness makes the light shine brighter, makes the light seem brighter. It's that contrast in life that is just so beautiful and wonderful. And so as far as my son, he is 17 years old and he is on a soccer team. He's in amazing shape. He had actually gained so much weight, and he didn't look like himself anymore. He was always athletic when he was younger, and he got his athleticism back. He's on one of the top teams in the state. They won their championship game a couple of weeks ago when they went out to a championship. And he's actually going to do 5th year senior. He decided to stay in school for another year. Even though he's done with his schooling, he's going to do like dual education in college, but stay 5th year senior so he can play with his soccer team for another year. and he's going out for a couple different club teams so that he can hopefully have a professional soccer career. So I'm super, super excited for him. And I'm just so thankful that the brain surgery for him actually worked, because for some people it doesn't, but for him it did.
Thank you so much, Sierra, for sharing that. So, and I'm so happy that he's doing well. And I know Amy says she's gone kind of through that with her own daughter and stuff. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. And if you check the comments, there's a lot of comments in the chat for you. So.
Oh yeah, no, I see that now. Yeah. Yeah, he's 17 now. It's been 6 years. I actually started my business 2 weeks after my son's brain surgery. So I was determined to give him something to live for.
And like you said, it's the things we go through life that make us stronger. And you find the people that have gone through the most are usually the kindest and most empathetic people in the world, because we know what it's like. So,
Absolutely.
thank you so much. So, Margaret, did you need to leave here soon? So
I can be on till 12:15. So if you have other
okay.
people, that have to
Okay.
go sooner,
All right.
that's fine.
I just wanted to make sure. Did you have
Thanks.
anything else, Sierra? I just want to make sure I don't cut anybody off. So.
Well, there's a couple people that mentioned about having children with brain tumors. If anyone needs a place to talk or wants to share about their experience, I started studying the brain. That's actually been my biggest study since my son went into that. I study psychology a lot. I know so much more about how the brain works. I got really deep into it, and it's still something that fascinates me to this day, because there was actually one seizure where he had the seizure, and when he woke up, his memory was blanked out. And it was just so jarring for me, because it was like my son was erased. Sorry.
So, I actually get it, because with my brain tumors, the first thing was I couldn't remember people's names. And so, I have a really bad headache, because if I forget your name, it's not on purpose ever. And that is hard. And I think being a mom, it would be harder than having it myself.
Yeah.
Because because you want to help your child or somebody through that, and you'd rather take their pain more than anything.
Yeah, no, having kids is one of the craziest things in the world, because it's like your heart is pulled outside of your body and it's running around. And when things happen to it, and you can't do anything to fix it, like you can't, there's certain things in life where you can't just kiss the boo-boos away.
Right.
They reach an age where, and I mean, honestly, when the brain tumor stuff and the surgeries and everything, that was incredibly difficult. But when he got his heart broken by his first love, that was even harder on him. And just watching him go through that was even harder, because it's like he's my miracle child. And so I don't want to see him hurting. And I just have to be there. He actually hit his head a few weeks ago, and I had to take him to the ER to get stitches. And of course, with everything else that had happened, of course, I feel like whatever. But I came up and I saw the blood dripping, and he's like, "I'm fine, Mom." And I'm like, okay, because my initial reaction was like, and it was like immediately my body shifted into what I call disassociation. And so it's like I felt it wash over my whole body. I went into logical brain mode instead of being in that nurturing creative mode and whatever, because initially I was super emotional, and then my body switched into disassociation. I felt it wash over my whole body. It shut off all the emotions. And then I was like, okay, cool, let's go get the first aid kit. Let's do this, let's do that. And I went into that mode, and we can't live in that mode. It's just not possible to store up all those emotions. Eventually, I had a mentor who talked about it. I don't have my mug next to me for coffee, but she talked about it we have this cup, and we only have so much capacity for certain types of emotions to be stored. And it's over time, it's well, we can handle certain things. Oh, I've always been able to handle that, but for whatever reason right now I can't. Well, it's because over time we store it, and we store it, and we store it, and we store it, and eventually our cup gets full. And so then now it feels like we have a hair trigger of this emotional, shocking emotional reaction to things. And it's because we haven't dealt with all of this stuff down here. And so we actually have to process out the emotions through our physical body. And I think that going out in nature and being around nature is one of the best ways to process personally.
I totally agree. And I'm sure every person here agrees with that. So thank you so much for sharing. We appreciate you taking the time today to do that.
Oh my God, the whole time I'm over here like, oh my gosh, like what you have gone through, and you're right, when the pain and the situation, the struggle is on a child of yours, you feel it too, and maybe even bigger, because you can't take it away. You can't remove it from them. So that's very, very difficult. But what you were doing in terms of going and hiding in the closet and and then coming out and being strong for your family, that is just so amazing. And I have to leave you with this one thing. It's like, are you kidding me? 5 kids and you look like you're 23?
That was a choice, by the way. That was a choice. I
Okay,
didn't
how
always look
dare
really
you?
young. I didn't, I promise. I've had a glow up in the last like 2 years because I was doing so well in my business. And at some point I was just like, I really want my physical body to reflect what I have been like growing, this personal growth that I've had inside. And so I actually have abs for the first time in my life, which I've never had before. So I'm just like, I got those Janet Jackson abs or whatever that I always wanted when I was a teenager. Never had it when I was younger, was pregnant or nursing for 10 years, and then like definitely didn't have it then. And then I was just like, why not?
Wow, that's awesome. More power to you. Geez, I admire you so much.
All right. So who would like to go next? Amy.
Yes, thank you for allowing me to go, because I do have to take off a little bit. Man, I can really relate to that story, Sierra. So this picture that you see behind me is actually the organic farm in Vermont that I live and work on with my husband. However, I grew up in New York City, of all places, and had a very unusual background with a mom who was really into nutrition, and my stepfather was a chef. And I learned to cook at the age of 8 and have been cooking ever since. And my first summer job was actually working in a health food store in New York City at 16. But the big aha moment around the work that I do, which is mostly teaching people how to get rid of the toxins from their food, their homes, and embrace holistic health tools to try to avoid going to hospitals and spending time with doctors. And so the big aha was when I was actually pregnant with my daughter. And that was about 34 years ago. And I was in a health food store and I found this little non-toxic baby book, and I was reading through it and I thought, wait, what? There's toxic chemicals in everyday household products, including baby shampoo and diapers and all the stuff that, here I was doing everything humanly possible to be as healthy as I could. But I had no idea that these things were legally allowed in, US products. And the more I researched, the more I realized that people aren't really being protected either. There's so many of these loopholes and things that allow manufacturers to put this junk into our lives through our food and our household products. And so I was determined to get all of that out of my house. And so once I did that, I felt like I had to share this with other people. And it became very clear that this was my passion. This was like the main purpose of what my work was supposed to be doing, which was, embracing this non-toxic way of living to try to avoid having, having health problems first of all, but also living in harmony with the earth. And so even though I was a New York City girl initially, I left as much as I possibly could until I went to college. And I always sought out experiences and places where I could be in nature. I felt that from such a young age, even in Central Park, that spending time sitting on the grass or looking up at the sky or, seeing birds flying by where I live in Vermont, we have all kinds of incredible creatures that wander onto our property and into our fields. But it gives me such joy to be able to, be immersed in this beautiful kind of environment. And it's, kind of cool where people in this state tend to be very focused on nature and food and farms and all that kind of stuff. And so my work has taken me into a variety of different directions. In the summer season, I lead very unique food and farm tours, which got featured on HGTV, amazingly. And I also have a podcast, where the Green Living Now podcast, where I'm interviewing all kinds of amazing experts, holistic health experts, functional medicine doctors, sustainable ag people like my husband, or foragers, herbalists, animal communicators, holistic vets, plus people that have actually healed themselves from some kind of life-threatening illness that they were not able to get the assistance that they needed through the mainstream system, and they, did it themselves. And so there's some incredible stories on there that just have blown me away as I've been talking to these people. And then I do online courses. So my newest one is this Non-Toxic Kitchen Reimagined, and there's a free kitchen assessment on my website, greenlivingnow.com, for anybody that wants to get a handle on what's going on in your own kitchen. Because I think, for me, the kitchen is sort of the heart center of our home. And so I know a lot of health conscious women and men who, have been trying to do the right thing, doing the research a little bit, swapping out products, but still wondering, is this really making a difference? Is this product actually better than others? And there's so much greenwashing in this world where, we're told, oh, these are non-toxic pans, but then you do a little more research and you realize, wait, maybe they're not really that non-toxic. There's some kind of polymer in that coating that makes it non-stick, even though it's not Teflon anymore. So it's a very sort of overwhelming and confusing world for a lot of folks. And I know that from having been there, for so many years. And one of the newest approaches that I have with working with people is teaching a framework. So what questions do you ask? What are the things to look at so that you make sure that you're actually making choices that are really going to push things forward for you, instead of just making you wonder, oh gosh, is this any better than what I had before? And so I think that's a little bit of a unique perspective of, teaching that framework of how to ask the right questions to make sure that you're, doing things that are actually making a difference. Yeah, I'm not going to go into my daughter's brain tumor story, but I'll just say that even with the non-toxic lifestyle and the organic food and the holistic health, sometimes stuff still happens, and, you just have to deal with it. So what I often say to people is that, non-toxic living is not going to prevent life from happening, but it's certainly going to help reduce, your own levels of exposure. So you're much less likely to have to experience illness and issues like that. So, and the whole connection with every time we make a decision and we purchase something with our dollars, we're saying we want more of that. So the more we support things that are earth friendly, that are, that are human and earth friendly and creature friendly, then that's a vote for that. So I think we have a lot more power than we think we do. And I hate to have anyone feel like they're a victim of, anything. And so if they can feel empowered to make choices that they know are going to actually make a difference, then right there supporting.
Well, thank you for sharing. So
Thank you, Amy.
My pleasure.
Yes. So let's see, Tammy, I think we
Oh,
have a couple of people
Cecile
that,
is waving real quick here. I know she
Yes.
has to leave.
That's what I
love
wanted to
your stories.
say.
Thank you so much for sharing, and I hope to see you again on Facebook or wherever. Take care. Thank you for the invitation, Tammy.
Of course. Well, thank you. And Cecile was on the podcast last week, correct? And so you can find out, of course, in our group or on YouTube. So, and then let's have Lonnie next, because she needs to leave in a few minutes herself.
Thank you. This is exciting because I think it just shows how we are all connected. Regardless of what our passion or our business is, there's a way that we're all connected. And certainly nature brings that to us I met Tammy, or I don't even remember how we got connected, but about 3 years ago, I came across her somehow when I was promoting my first book, which talks about my journey with my son's brain tumor. Unfortunately, he did not survive that. He passed in 2005. And so my first book talks about that caregiving journey and the lessons that I learned about self-care. And definitely nature became a grounding point for me in that journey. And subsequently, I just published my second book, Beyond the Horizon, A Guide for Life's Journey, which I really took that connection to nature even farther, even beyond the horizon, so to speak, and talk about how I'm using the reference of the Native American medicine wheel. Renee, you talked about the powwow, that Native American medicine wheel and the four directions and the elements that are connected with them in nature. And again, come back to that grounding that for me is really something that has become a daily practice. Stepping outside into natural light, standing on the grass barefoot, feeling that connection to the earth, and taking deep breaths. And that was one of my first big lessons of self-care, was being reminded of my breath and our connection to the element of air and oxygen, and how it's so profoundly connected to our life force and who we are. And so really teaching people how to reconnect with their breath is part of what I do with my business. Alicate Associates is a wellness focused business. And it's been through several iterations. I think, like Sarah, had some ups and downs and mistakes and mishaps, but I have really connected with my core focus is helping caregivers, and caregivers of all ages, sizes, shapes, and experiences to really rediscover themselves that may have been lost through their caregiving journey, and to do that through self-care, self-awareness, self-healing, and connecting with nature. And so I would like to, Tammy, offer we can't, there we go. Can you see it? I don't know. Oh, no, I'm blurred. There we go.
There. Okay.
If you want to spin now, and I'd be happy to actually sign and mail a copy to the winner. You can provide me with their contact information.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I know you've been on our podcast a few times, and at least I have all of you guys' stuff on YouTube, right? So people can go and watch it anytime. So thank you so much.
Contact information in the chat.
Okay, and I'm going to share the screen so we can spin. Here we go. Olivia Smith, you just won.
Yay.
Olivia will love it.
Congrats, Olivia.
Right.
So yeah, I put my contact information in the chat. So if Olivia wants to reach out to me directly or through Tammy, either way, I will get that book to her. And does anybody have any questions before I sign off?
Hey, Lonnie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, so what do you recommend for those caretakers? Like, I have several friends that are in that process with their parents, and I went through a 2.5-year hospice with my mom. So she's coming up on her 1-year anniversary of fighting the good fight. And so I can tell you that many of my friends don't think that they need to read that book because all their time and attention needs to go to caretaking for the other, the complete self-sacrifice mode. Had you met me 3.5 years ago, I would have said, no, I'm good. every ounce of my energy needs to go to saving my mom's life.
Yeah.
So talk to me 3 years ago and tell me what I need to hear, because I want to share that message, because people need your book so badly. And I wish I would have had it back then.
The first message I got, and it took me a while to realize that was the message, was breathe. Just pause and breathe. And it happened. It happened that actually my son that passed away from brain cancer, he was hit by a car in front of our house when he was 5. And as I ran out the door, my neighbor stepped in front of me, grabbed me by the shoulders, and said, breathe.
Yeah.
And I didn't really connect with it at that time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until probably 24 hours later, when the doctor said he was going to be okay, that I actually took a breath.
Yep.
Sorry. Ooh. But that was my biggest lesson. And so with caregivers, the first thing I do in any workshop or retreat that I give is learn how to breathe.
Yes.
I teach them breathing techniques, because some people they don't know how to take a breath when they're in that depth of caregiving.
Yeah.
And if you could just start with that simple practice of learning to take a breath. And I tell people, set reminders on your phone for at least 3 times a day. Like first thing in the morning, practice taking 3 deep breaths. And there's a whole great book called 3 Deep Breaths by Thomas Crum. It's a great story that tells the impact of 3 deep breaths. But stop in the morning before you do anything else to take those 3 breaths. In the middle of the day, in the middle of your hectic caregiving schedule, have a reminder to, again, pause. Press that pause button for just a couple minutes and take those deep breaths, because it really can reset your whole system. And then again, at the end of the day, those 3 breaths, just again, as this time a release. And so if that's the one thing that I could teach caregivers in the middle of their caregiving, is to breathe. And I talk about that in both my books.
Thank you for that so much. Pearls of wisdom for sure. And some people might think, really, that's so simplistic. But I'm your testimony, because I held my breath for 3 years and it was very damaging to my physical and emotional being. So bless you for your message and your books. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Lanny, can you
Yes.
allow me?
Yes.
Yeah. There's a company called Skydive in Dubai, and Jay Shetty. I don't know if you know Jay
Yeah.
Shetty. He's the
Yeah.
He talks about breathing exercises an awful lot, and it is so true what you just mentioned. Breathing is no matter the state you're in, you have a certain way of breathing. If you're angry, you breathe different than when you're happy. That means when you can control your breath, you can control your situation or your state of mind, of thinking. And yeah, thank you for sharing. It's very interesting. I'm very impressed. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Lanny, I want to say too, thank you. I'm so sad. It makes me so sad that your son didn't make it. So definite condolences on that. That's just so painful. I also just so empathize with this idea that I feel like in our culture, no one is breathing. I mean, it's amazing how you need people to guide you in even breathing. And I was riding a horse in a lesson a number of years ago, and it was probably 12 people in an arena, and the teacher was in the middle. And he called out to me from the middle, and I'm, 20 yards away. And he's like, Margaret, you're not breathing. You can't ride a horse unless you're breathing air. You need to be breathing. And he could see from such a great distance that I was not even breathing. And it didn't even dawn on me that I was holding my breath while I was riding a horse. And so if I'm doing that, I mean, think how many people are just living, right, a normal day, and they're not even aware of it. So that idea of setting your phone and taking a deep breath 3 times a day, or 3 breaths 3 times a day, that's gold. I mean, that's just gold, that little bit. So thank you so much. And I guess all I can say is thank you and keep breathing.
Well, and that's, it's in it because people say, I'm breathing, I'm alive. It's like the air might be going in, but you're not benefiting. Your body's not benefiting from the oxygen that it's needing, and that the brain function starts to diminish when you don't have enough oxygen. The rest of your physical body, your health starts to diminish. And I certainly can attest to what Starry was saying about in the midst of that, like caring for my son, and then subsequently I was caring for my parents after he passed. And I remember this feeling of being able to take a breath. When my mom passed away 3 years ago, I realized that day that I could actually turn off my phone and sleep through the night. And I felt this big exhale at that moment. So we do walk around holding our breath, and with the way the world is right now, I think we're all in this tense crisis, holding our breath kind of thing. And so it really is important to make that a practice, a conscious, intentional practice to breathe.
Well, thank you so much. So much wisdom there. Every single one of you guys, all of you speakers have shared so much wisdom today. I was sitting here thinking, this is like one of the best podcasts ever, because all of you are sharing so much wisdom. So thank you so much for
I would
that,
love
Lonnie.
to stay on and hear everybody else's stories, but I do have to go. So thank you for having me. And please, if anybody wants to reach out, you can connect through.
So we'll have you share it in the link. And then also, of course, this will be recorded. It is recorded and it'll be put on YouTube as well. So you can rewatch for yourselves or share it. So thank you.
And my books are available on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover. So aloha. I forgot to mention, and what Karen, that I am in Hawaii. I am in the middle of the Pacific on Oahu. And so sending my aloha to all of you.
Well, thank you. I know I need to visit you. Aloha,
yes, you do.
my friend.
Okay. All right, take care.
So who needs to go? I know Austin needs to go and Margaret needs to go. So we'll make it. Well, you two will be our next people here. So Margaret.
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah, what a joy to hear from everybody. This is just like a little banquet of perseverance and character. I think that my main focus or mission statement for my writing, I'm a writer, I'm a professional writer, would be planting seeds in hearts. And I am a lifelong gardener. My mom was a painter and she also taught me how to garden. And so, a lot of people get master gardener certificates and all this. And I just call myself a master garden nerd. I'm a master garden nerd. And so that's kind of how I approach life, is through growing things from seed. I've been growing things from seed on windowsill trays for my entire adult life. And the fun of that is that there's lots of successes and there's lots of failures. And so it is a great metaphor for how we live. And soil needs aeration. And so tribute to her for, recognizing that not only do we need it, but everything that we're creatively working on, it needs oxygen and it needs light and it needs to be watered. And so that sort of planting seeds in hearts in the arts is really where I live. I'm working on 2 books right now. I published 5 books and I started really writing professionally in 2009. And the ones I'm working on now, one is a children's book, and it is about a little girl who lives in the inner city. She's in a Hispanic apartment housing, low income development. And she goes home from school and she draws on sidewalk squares, and she's a master artist. And of course she's 10. And so someone from a museum in the city is walking along and discovers her. And so the book is a journey of, it's called Lilia Makes Art Bloom. And it's about what happens to her when she gets discovered. And then the other book is for my daughters, and they both have had twins very recently. So I have 2 sets of baby twins. And I realized, as much as I love them to death, and they grew up in massive amounts of gardening, they just don't look at life that way. They look at the garden that's out there And my house is full of tasks and chores. And I have to deal with all the tasks and chores, or I'm not going to survive. And so I decided to write this book for them. I probably will self-publish it. I've never self-published any of my books, but I think I might, just because they're going to grow up. If I don't get this book done and published, then it's like they're going to miss the gardening, bringing it indoors idea. So I've been working on that. And for them, just kind of thinking about life inside of our communities as their own gardens, and how do we cultivate that in a way that produces fruit and flowers. And so, yeah, I just kind of live in that world of the arts. I've raised 3 really professional artist children, which is weird. I was a business person. I was in advertising for many, many years before I went into writing. And they did not go that route. One became a dancer, one is a pianist, one's a professional drummer. I mean, it's just wild. And they're all poor, all of them. And so, yeah, it's kind of like there's a lot of messaging there in terms of how do we really look at not just the external pressure of making money as the way of being successful, but taking and cultivating the garden of our hearts, and then thereby all the layers out as a way of being and looking at through the lens of that's a successful life. So that's kind of my jam. I'm not going to take too much time. And I am giving away one of my books. And this book, I wish that Sierra was still on the call, because this book is a really out of a brain study that I spent a few years on. When my son was working towards piano, his teacher made me sit in on all his lessons and take notes. And then I had to go over the notes with him all week long while he was practicing at home, so that those concepts would get reinforced. And when he went off to college at Indiana University, I had these amazing notebooks of pedagogy about the piano. So I wrote a book about the link between, and it's a novel, but it's about a piano prodigy who falls in love with his teacher. And she was a professional touring the world, and she got early onset dementia. Her name is Claire Cardiff. And so it's how they navigate their pedagogical relationship while she is declining like crazy due to her dementia, and he is ascending to the heights of his career. And so this book came out a long time ago. It came out in 2014, but it just came out last year as an audiobook with embedded music. And so there's a lot of classical pieces, maybe like, I don't know, 12 or 15 in the book that are embedded. So while you're listening to it, the music actually undergirds the story. And I love this format. I wish more audiobooks had augmentation through the arts like they were able to do for this. So that's my giveaway. So Tammy, if you will spin, you can just we can send it. And I have the free link. So I'll send that, whoever gets it, the free link to get the book.
Awesome. Excited. Thank you.
Of course.
Here, I'll share my screen. All right, here we go. Oh, no winner. It's so weird that it didn't put any names there.
Again.
Kitty bear.
Oh, you'll have to spin again.
Whoops, I needed to take Vanessa's name off. Sorry.
Okay.
So only one winner, one-time winner. Otherwise, Sierra.
It's perfect. That was meant to be. That was just meant to be.
was.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, well, we appreciate you being here, and thank you for sharing your story.
Oh,
And
thank you so
thanks for
much.
sharing the book. Appreciate it.
All right.
Awesome.
Yes, congratulations to Sierra. You
I know that was like it worked out to be perfect. So, and next, Asa.
Yes, do you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
loud
Yeah,
and clear.
good. Oh, wow. It's so hard to follow all these amazing people. And thank you so much for having me. My heart is still like deep down from the story about her son. It's like I have to pick my heart back up somehow. And yeah, many beautiful stories. Anyway, I'm half French, half Swedish, creative. Mostly I've lived in both France and Sweden, and my whole adult life I've worked as a professional photographer. And I had brought a big studio in Sweden, and I had lots of props and costumes, and I did very like creative shoots with my clients, as well as like the ordinary family photos and many weddings. I've seen too many weddings. I think they're still nice, but 500 weddings is like, yeah, now that happens, and now that happens. So, so now I do like 2 a year or something. Before I had like 40 weddings a year. 2 is good. Then I can still be like awed by it. I actually closed my studio about 2 years ago, both due to COVID, but also deep burnout. You're not supposed to work 80 hours a week, apparently, while having twin kids. So fun. We talked about twins. My twins are 14 now, so they're big. They're actually taller than me now. And we have many big shoes in the hallway. So many big shoes in the hallway. But, and I love it. But I actually thought that leaving my studio would end some part of my creativity, but it's actually opened up so much more, because now I don't have to create for clients all the time. I do love working for clients and creating images, but I can create for myself. And I've started studying to become a French and English teacher here in Sweden. So I'm on my 3rd year. I have 2 years left. And I love like bringing in pictures and images into teaching and using it to scaffold and teaching with images. I actually wrote a book called Teaching with Images, just to guide teachers, because I found that was missing in the teachers program, at least here in Sweden. And I've really dug deep into AI imagery and being able to create whatever I want without actually having, this is going to sound weird because I love people, but being able to do photo shoots without actually having to meet people, which was a big thing for me after burnout. I could actually create and just let all the images out of my head without having to interact and having the clients say things. And I photographed a lot of kids, and they have opinions in all matters, and it's really fun, but you can get really tired as well, especially those 3 years old, and the parents have one expectation and the 3-year-old mostly wants to play. So it's been a really fun journey, and I'm kind of seeing my new journey coming to, and it's opened up so much. I'm actually starting to write a youth novel, because being able to chat with AI, I've been able to like test my ideas and talk back and forth like I never had the opportunity to do before. I've always worked alone. I had my clients and I had all the ideas myself, and it's so fun to be able to talk to someone. I know it's not a person, but it does, boost creativity to be able to test ideas and go further. And what about if we do this, or if we do this? And it's unleashed so much. So I've done way too many coloring books with tiny dragons for kids mostly that I love. And I'm going to do a book also with my dragons for kids that I've almost finished. And most of all, my latest project is just released on Amazon, and it's a book. I don't know if you can see, it looks like this, prompting like a visual artist. So it's 500 pages of tools on how to speak like an artist when you're prompting. So all the right words to depict light and the artistic styles and everything. So it's a whole encyclopedia of artistic styles and light and angles and fields of depth, everything. So I crammed like my whole 45-year-old knowledge of art in one book, hoping to help AI images look better online. So I have something nice to look at.
I'm going to throw this in there. I took one of your
and,
classes. That's great.
Yeah, and I don't know what to say. It's just fun to create a lot, and and see where it takes me. And I'm really starting to dug out a whole series in my head for my book about this young girl that jumps back and forth in time. I know it sounds weird, but I have like a 5 book thing in my head that I really just wait for summer to be able to start writing. So I've mapped everything out and everything, and now I just want university to stop for the semester so I can start writing on that. and somehow miraculously get money from somewhere so I can eat, which would be nice because it's really hard to find a job right now in Sweden. But it's going to be fine. So my freebie is actually, I've done a complete course on Midjourney. So I put links to 2 free courses on that one, like 2 lessons, one about prompting and one like just a guide through Midjourney, just to see. And I'm also giving you 50% on that. And also there's a freebie with a PDF for my coloring books. So you can just print and test them out if you like to do that, or if you have kids near you. Or adults. I mean, I like to color. So I put a lot of things, and I have a PDF with all the links and everything. So I'll just share it. I don't know if anyone has any questions.
So you want me to go ahead and spin the wheel for the drawing, or
You're actually gonna all get it.
oh, isn't this
so-
nice, guys?
Yeah,
Nice-
exactly.
A gift for
Like,
everyone. And
so it's for everyone, so you can just download it, and I'll even share it in the group so everyone watching can have it. So just a little taste of what I'm doing. So exactly, everyone's a winner.
thank you so much.
so
Well,
I really hope.
and I
this,
was gonna say, Asa, just the one
inspires.
course I did with you, listening and watching, taught me
Yeah.
so much. So
Yeah, that's so
thank
fun.
you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna start a YouTube channel any day now. So there's gonna be a lot of sharing in that one as well. I hope. I just have to put up the courage to do it and learn the tech of doing it. So once I do
Yeah.
that, I'll do it. So
Well,
yeah,
that sounds
and
great
it-
because I could use some help area. It's like it's not my forte. I like what I see and I appreciate the details,
yeah,
but me doing that and getting there is like
yeah,
I don't think I can.
yeah,
So
yeah.
my
So
strengths
that's
are elsewhere.
actually what the book is for, because I've illustrated everything. So everything has like an image that shows you, like, if you like this, you can just write it like this. And there's also a PDF that comes with the book where there's a link in the book, and you can get all the prompts, so you can copy everything. There's like 370 prompts or something in that book. I worked a year on it, like too much, but I'm really happy about the result, and I hope it can help someone too. And
So where is that? Where is that link?
so there's a PDF with all the links.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and
great.
we'll
in the
put
chat,
it-
so you can
we'll
just
put
download
it-
that, and there's links and the little
Sure.
lots of
Got
different
it.
things in there.
Perfect.
I'll-
Thank you.
everything. So it's a
We'll
big
make sure
freebie.
it's added later here. So
Yeah.
into the chats and stuff.
Yes.
All right.
Tammy, I have to jump to my next Zoom. You really
Okay.
have to apologize me because I have to jump.
And well, thank you so
everything.
much for being here. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank
Oh, do you
you,
have a link
Renee.
to your book, honey?
I have to
Please?
go to babysit. Bye.
All the
Thank
twins.
you.
Thank you.
Esa, you said something?
No, if you had a link to your book.
Yes, I did put it in the chat, but I'll put it again.
Oh, I
Don't
didn't
worry.
find it. Maybe it got lost in the. I'll go back. I'll scroll back and look for it.
I'll share it in
Yes.
the chat. Don't worry about it. You can find it on my
Okay.
website as well.
No
Right.
problem,
I'll
Messi.
share it. I'll share it right
Okay.
now. No problem.
Yeah.
And
Thank
thank you.
you.
Thank you, Tammy, for having me. Really appreciate it. Thank you,
Oh,
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, Renee.
So, and I believe
Bye.
did
Bye. Bye.
Jen have to
Renee.
leave? I think Jen had to leave, correct? So, and
Yes.
she has a prize also she was giving away. So we'll share that in a little bit. But in the meantime, Irene, did you want to say something today?
Oh, hi. Yeah, sorry. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yeah.
hear you.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to register and commit because wasn't sure if my internet has been really bad. I've been kicked off Zooms. And so I'm so glad that I got to hear everyone's story today. I'm so glad that I was able to be here. I really didn't think my internet was going to work. So I'm so grateful for that. It's so wonderful to see all of you. What do I want to share? I don't want to share any heart-wrenching story, but we're talking about nature, and people were talking about the incredible trips that they've taken. Nobody talks about the ocean. We always talk about the hiking, and I've hiked Katahdin, I've done Mount Washington, the Franconia Notch Ridge. I've surfed the crazy waves in Hawaii. I've done a lot of things. I've skydived a couple of times. Can't wait to do that again. But no one, we always talk about the woods and the wilderness, and I love the ocean. And in just being near the water, whether it's a creek or the ocean or a lake, and I just love to be out near the water to hear the. I walk by this creek every single day on my walks, and it's just so just watching the running water and the little waterfalls, and it's just lovely. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Irene Gabelnick. Currently, I've been in sales and marketing for over 30 years, but I am an author. And I actually have an upcoming book, which Tammy, hopefully, she'll have time to contribute a chapter. We've been talking about it and still waiting for some of my incredible authors to get their chapters in. So there's still time. I know she's been super busy with organizing this as well. Renee is in my upcoming anthology, so super excited. We have some incredible people from all over the world in 9 countries right now joining us for my book collaboration. It's called The Power of Why these inspiring authors wrote a book and why you should too. And all of you, if anyone was interested in learning more, please reach out to me, send me a friend request, send me a DM, and I'd be happy to share more about it. You can certainly see my feed on Facebook. I'm also on Substack. I don't know if any of you are on Substack, but if you are, please connect with me. It's the hottest new platform for writers. And I think that Asa, she hasn't left yet. One of the cool things, I just started doing live videos on Substack. And if you connect your YouTube and your LinkedIn, it will automatically also add your video to your YouTube channel and on LinkedIn. And then it even gives you short clips that you can repurpose all over. Automatically does it all for you. And it's 100% free, the platform. And so it's really, really super incredible. I'm loving the community. It's just a bunch of authors and writers. So anyone who wants to connect with me there, my newsletter is The Power of Writing, but it's just my name, Irene Gabelnick. And I just wanted to say thank you, Tammy. I'm so glad I was able to make it. This morning, I was like, I really don't think it's going to work today, but I don't know. The angels work in mysterious ways that I have a connection today because it's been so sketchy. So wonderful to see all of you. And Tammy, always, always, always love being a guest on your podcast and seeing you. You're so incredible. And that's all I wanted to really say.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you too. So I know you are extremely, extremely busy as well. So that's the problem. Sometimes we're all doing about 100 things, right?
Yes, thank you, Irene.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
all are. We all are super busy, but we have to make time, and I kept this spot open and on my calendar, but I didn't want to commit because I don't want to say I'm going to be somewhere and not be able to show up. So I'm just excited my internet's working. I hope I don't lose it again.
Maybe it's going to start working forever again, right?
Well, I'm moving, so it should be better when I relocate. So that's just been keeping me a little discombobulated, trying to get all that into place too. So you know how that goes.
Well, thank you so, so much. I appreciate it. So our next speaker, Starlee.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for your beautiful stories. And thank you, Tammy, so much for allowing us all to share who we are, our stories, providing us this platform to connect with each other. You were so generous. I'm super interested in everyone that I've been hearing from and who you've been promoting and endorsing. Tammy, thank you. Each of your guests has such valuable stories, tips, and whether we have 2 people on the call or 200 people, we all share just as deeply no matter what. So I love that about this group. So a little bit about me. So like many of us, we might have some fears or things that we've tried to work through stories and through community and connection. And for me, I had a fear of literally just being seen or heard at all. Like I wanted to just be an invisible person. That's how I was raised. I was raised in a home with domestic violence and death threats, and And so, you know, we had a lot of beautiful growth since then. But what I can also tell you, some of the things that taught me how to be really creative and innovative is I also grew up poor in a rich neighborhood. So I ended up being known as the girl who went from cleaning carpets to working the red carpets. And so talk about a dichotomy. I'm afraid to be seen and heard, but I'm now a record holder on television and I've produced national TV. Doesn't seem to match. Can you say maybe had a problem with authority and I think maybe that was me. Can you say
Yeah, I
stubborn?
see you, Starly. I see you.
I see you too, man. I see. I've been
Hey.
chatting you guys up in the box over there.
Oh, I know. I am disappointed with you though, Starley, at the moment.
Uh-oh.
Where's my kitty?
Oh, dude, she was
Did you
so-
not let her come on screen?
She was in here having a little fit because it was like she gets kibble, extra kibble when I give her breathing treatments. She has asthma. And so she was all like, "Where's the kibble?" I'm like, "I gave it to you." So I kind of had to put her in, a pampered timeout with Big Daddy. So yeah. So oh my goodness. So yes, talk about someone who gets more visibility than me. Kitty Bear has her own Facebook page. So, being a visibility expert is more than just our joke that we just talked about right now. It's more than just being visible. It's being relatable, it's being authentic, and it's being credible. So look at all the crazy stuff that's happening right now. There are people changing industries, right? Being laid off, fired, or they're transitioning to new things, or AI. It's like getting rid of some jobs, but it's creating new jobs. Like there's so much movement out there. And so what's happening is a lot of people are like, hey, I'm trying to really struggle to get this visibility for this thing that I'm really good at. And then the ways you do it keep changing like so much. And so here's the thing. We don't want to change the coolness inside of us, like our credibility and our it factor while we're learning all this new stuff. And it sounds easier said than done, but when you start adopting like a lot of new ideas and principles and templates and other people's trainings, sometimes we get a little bit lost in that. How do we protect like our authenticity? Well, so that's some of the lessons I've had to learn failing forward with finesse. And I share some of the tips and the stories along the way. And what does along the way mean? Well, about a decade behind the camera, working on over 3,000 productions for television and red carpets, and then also a decade in front of the camera being a record holder for guest expert appearances, and then another decade of teaching both. And yes, I know what you're saying. Did I start at 10? Yes. I started at 10, 3 decades. Yes. No. Okay. I didn't start at 10. So one of the things that's really important to know is that it's okay for us to fail forward with finesse, basically learn while we go. So most of all my stories, they're not like how I was the hero. Most of my stories are like, well, this is how I had this little failure, and this is the lesson that it taught me. And the cool thing about that is it really does make you a better helper, storyteller, teacher, trainer, because all mentors are full-time students. And so if you can share like, hey, this is what happened that wasn't good, that's sometimes a little bit more valuable and helpful to people than this is what happened that where it's perfect, or I was the hero of the story and look at my influencer brand. So it's okay. I mean, authenticity is better than an Oscar award-winning performance. So, have you ever noticed that, people have this fear of being judged? Like if they get on a video or they're going to make a post or stand up in front of a group of people and share their expertise or their story or even their art. And a lot of times they have this huge fear of being judged. We all do. Almost all of it. And we all judge to a degree. We really do. So one of the things that I like to share with people, and it's something I not only learn myself, but I have to relearn it or re-experience it all the time. So it's not like I mastered this and I'm giving a tip. It took me years to have a breakthrough and to continually keep doing it in order to keep breaking through. And that is, I have to ask myself, what's more important to me in this moment? To make a difference in somebody else's life, or to hold back my gifts because I know that some people might judge me. So that was really helpful for me, and I like to share that with people. Guys, we have to remember that people forgive flaws. They don't forgive fakes. And they're not expecting you as like an author or an artist or a wellness expert, a leader of whoever you are. They're not expecting you to be a supermodel or a pro athlete or a celebrity influencer. They're just expecting you to share some tips that might move the needle in their life and make a difference. And they're grateful for that. So when I get into these communities, like Tammy's amazing, beautiful community with all you guys who are really all so beautiful, and these aren't fluffy words, I mean this. That's why I said on till the end, because I want to experience every one of your calls. And I have just as crazy a schedule as everybody. So, if I'm listening deeply, it's because you guys really do have this value. And I'm glad that you got in front of a camera or webcam or in this community, because you really can make a difference in this world. And a lot of us feel better when we're in our sharing mode, right? And one last comment I wanted to make about that particular sharing mode is, with today's industry, when we're sharing so big, but we don't have the monetization part put in, well, a lot of us I don't want to get in front of the camera and sell something because I feel like a fraud or I feel inauthentic or an actor. But yet, Tammy and I talked a lot about this. I didn't want to grow up being a starving artist, but I wanted to have some sort of, my whatever my art was in my life. And so I suggest to you that you don't just give all the time and then try to sell at the end awkwardly, or that you give and sell at the exact same time in the same breaths that you're in and out. Because if you were trying to, convince a family member that you wanted them to eat some really great food at a really great restaurant, that's super healthy or fun or whatever, you wouldn't be like, yeah, there's this place and, down the street, and we wouldn't feel awkward. We'd be like, oh my God, you have to go there, it's the best thing ever. So most of us really believe in the stuff, the love that we want to share. We believe in our gifts, we believe in our stories. But if there's a little hint of monetization somewhere in the background, this is where my 30 years as a media trainer, a credibility expert, someone who helps to protect credibility while you're building visibility, this is where I remind you, you don't need anybody's permission to monetize. In fact, the more successful you are, the more people you can likely help. So I want you guys to feel really good about it, because anything that I teach, I've probably either failed at it, have been really awkward by it, have hired a ton of coaches or read a ton of books to try to be better at it. So I'm not some big success story. I've just failed forward often enough to where I have enough, stuff to share. And I do have some prizes as well. So I've got two things, Miss Tammy. I've got one where I just wanted everybody to get something, and it might not seem like the kind of gift that you would expect to be of super value, because you know what, I had a lot to pick from, and I could have put pretty much anything in there. But with this group, and when I was listening, I went in there and changed my price. And this one is how to actually, we pick our own communities,
Right.
and we want our tribes to be attracted. But what I found, one of the things that hold us back is when we're working too diluted with too much free content and we don't know how to organize it and absorb it, or we put too much faith in one person instead of knowing how to get really great valuable information and then utilize ourselves as a guide. So I have a little freebie that's called How to Pick a Mentor. And those thoughts and those tips came from over 20 years of what was working and what wasn't working. And it's super short. It's a few videos. There's no sales stuff in there. It is literally just shows you how to pick a mentor in terms of what's like-minded, like-hearted, time management, budget, what your mind capacity and bandwidth can deal with. And just those few thoughts that are infused in your head, you'll be like, yeah. And so one, I wanted everybody to have that. And then two, I want to work out what's the best way to put it in the group, because, not everybody has, access to it on this particular, call right now. A lot of people couldn't make it, but Tammy, I've got a membership site that's basically a 24/7 access, done for you kind of a thing, not done for you, but a DIY where you go in. And have you ever taken training on something and you're trying to fill out the worksheet and then you listen to the video
and then they don't match. And then I'm just a neurotic, nerdy student. And when they don't go in order, I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute, what happened to that answer?" And then I'm like, oh, I messed myself up. I'm such a nerd student. It's like, I like everything in order, you know? So I made sure that when I recorded my video, I was literally reading from the template that you fill in. And if that wasn't enough, I was like, well, sometimes I've like, I'm so smart. I like to interpret something 2 or 3 different ways. Hello, creative mind, right? And so I put examples in there too, saying, well, hey, it's kind of like this. And so that way, I love loving on people and wanting to help them be successful and get them over the hump. But I think that if you can teach someone to swim instead of try to be their life preserver, that it's more valuable. So that's the way I created this little membership site. So by first view, you look at it and goes, looks like a lot of other sites. But when you start to, fail forward with finesse or get your great results, you go, oh, look, this membership site is, I can watch the video and fill the thing in, and I can understand it, and I can freeze the thing. You can literally go through it like in a year or a month or whatever, and there's no sales stuff in there at all. And that's a $3,000 gift that I'm putting in your group, Tammy. So however we want to put that in, I'd love to be able to do. That's the raffle prize one, and then we'll do the how to pick a mentor thing as the everybody. Oops, I think it stopped. Are we good?
Back. So weird. My Zoom, sorry. It started like my screen started flashing and I'm like, oh no.
Oh, I was like on the last sentence. It reminds me of all those funny, like where they were filming somebody and then it stopped filming and they're like, oh, what should I do? So, but yeah, no, that was the last of it. That was really the last of it. All the stuff that I just talked about, it's stuff that we are teaching in a retreat just for authors and creators and speakers in May. And I'm going to be really generous about the freebies that I try to put in Tammy's group, because you guys deserve it. And Tammy, you just really have a way of attracting such golden-hearted, like-minded, like-hearted tribe. And I just love everyone in this group. I took notes. Like I hope nobody was hearing tapping, but I am a nerdy note taker. I was just like, and then I was just putting my comments in the chats. But Tammy, thank you. There's so much heart-touching stuff that came out of this. I learned, and I feel like I got to make some connections with some people, and I hope some of the gifts that I have help other people's lives as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you helping me with that, with the comments. And go ahead and put in, and I know you'll go on the Facebook and you'll put in answer questions there, and you can put your free gifts there. Was there a main prize? I couldn't remember. I didn't hear your last sentence.
Oh yeah, the main prize for the giveaway that I thought we were gonna do in the group, but I'm not sure. I want to make sure that I'm saying it right, because I wanted to give everybody an opportunity.
Okay, so do they need to comment with a heart, or?
Oh yeah, because you had like people that were engaging in your group would build up some points. I think, was that just for your prize, or was that did that also work for other people?
It's for whatever you want, because I said they could either comment or look at your site, whatever you want them to do.
I would just love them to engage with each other in this community and really get the value of connecting with each other. I mean, I'm lucky I'm just one of the people in the community, but I would love to see them, engage, and then we can give it however long you think it needs to be, a day or however long. But it is a 24/7 access. You get a year to soak it up. It's a $3,000 on-camera video marketing mastery membership site. And it has how to work out your personal brand, on-camera confidence, how to do that. This background, guys, this is
All right, why don't we just pick me now?
Yes, exactly. I'm in.
Y'all are like, see you, sucker. You didn't stay on that long, But but I tell you what,
whoever stays till the end.
Yeah, right. Well, you know what? And give my little creative mind. Give my little creative mind a few minutes, because I know who was here on the end, and so I'm gonna think of
it's like
special for just
all the speakers, and it's like Coach Dea she's like, I am so sorry, my phone overheated and it cut me off.
Oh, it happens. Yeah, I mean,
it does.
I've been doing live TV for 25 years. Every horrible oops, we got cut off. Whatever I had a wardrobe malfunction one time. So
Things happen, right?
anybody want to hear the funny wardrobe malfunction?
Yeah,
So
sure.
my mom is watching. She was my biggest and I think only fan, like on all of my, full-time appearances. Have any of you ladies had the blouse that's the cold shoulder? Like, so it crosses over. So this shoulder and arm, is sleeveless, and then this one has the sleeve, right? Well, I mean, I didn't think anything of it, but I just turned, when usually I'm on this other side of the set, but they put me on this side of the set, and I didn't look up at the video assist to see that I looked like I was naked. Like my mom calls me, young lady, where are your clothes? I was like, Mom, I wasn't naked. I was wearing, I don't care. You just face forward so people can see you had it. And I go, oh my
It could have been worse. I thought you were going to say that you flashed everyone.
I didn't have any flashing, but I had Mom calling up and I heard
Yeah, no, I
hours
hear.
of that. So I think I don't know. I don't know what was more painful, like an actual flash or hours of Mom's, like, how dare
Well,
you
I
wear
think
clothes?
maybe it might have been weeks of Mom if you flashed.
Oh yeah, that would have, no, yeah, she probably would have fainted. But yeah, that's very funny. My mom, not a wardrobe stylist, but she definitely was opinionated that day.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll work out something extra special for our last. The Mohicans here are a beautiful tribe. I love it. And then that yeah, oh, look at that. Oh, look at my girls. I love it. Look at us. We're all flattery and love will get you
Thank you
everywhere,
so much
girls.
for all that. Thank you for sharing your story. It was incredible. And I'm just, so glad to connect with you too. I saw snippets of your interview. I didn't get to see the whole thing with Tammy. And so
Oh,
I'm so glad we got to meet. Yeah,
thank you,
so
Irene.
cool.
Thank you so
Tammy
much for
brings
meeting
such
too.
wonderful,
I am so
she
lucky to
brings
have
such
such
wonderful
wonderful
people
guest voice.
together.
So I feel totally blessed.
Mhm.
Adriana, I know you had a
That's
little
how I met
something you were going to
Renee.
share.
Adriana. Wait, I didn't put here, welcome, Starly. Because I didn't put my
And
name.
I'm
Tammy,
hoping.
Tammy,
Thank you.
did you see my message in the meeting chat, in the chats?
No.
I sent it just to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually thought I do have something that was, for burnout, and how there were a lot of people talking about with so much going on, and we need to breathe, and everything that adds to our plate or our cup, and the cup does overfloweth a lot of times. And so I'm of course very moved by that. And I created this. I haven't released it yet. It's one of my latest ebooks. The ebook is called The New Face of Burnout in the AI Era. So I am an AI consultant, certified, and also an AEO. That's which is the new search for AI, and I'm certified in that as well. And I'm also a brain science coach. He's so focused on brain science, and I bring those things together with my 15, actually almost 30 years tracking trends and disruptions from innovations and technological advances. But this book, and I have 3 books that I've published, the last one being the brain science for the soul. And it's about bringing your whole in vis-a-vis the world, around us, and what we have to do both to be successful, but to be ourselves, keep ourselves in alignment. And there's the science. So there's technology and science and the self. I've got the new one in the works, number 4, but this in the meantime is focused on the burnout that we see or that we feel. And a lot of times we feel it, but we don't really know where it comes from. We would say, oh, well, it's just work, or it's just because of kids. We write it off, as, Yeah, it's to be expected. And that's really a coping mechanism right there. It's like, let's not pay too much attention to it. And even though it's there, because I don't want to be consumed, but that builds up and it adds up. And that is where burnout happens, whether it's because of caregiving, whether it's because transition to, new jobs or new industry or relocating or pandemics or, the economic situation. Its subtitle is Decoding Stress and Reclaiming Clarity, Energy, and Resilience. It's 7 chapters, but it's not, this one doesn't go as deep, but it does have in there what I'm really proud of is called the Burnout Decoder Matrix, which is a practical tool. And it will help you. It's a matrix. It will help you. And I'm looking at it right now. I probably know if it's worth sharing the screen, but it focuses on different triggers like cognitive load, social disconnection, emotional strain, and systemic pressures. And then it responds with what are some example triggers, what's the brain science impact, the AI world amplifier. So this is how AI amplifies that, and the early warning signals burnout. So that's to help people kind of see where they're at, what are the things that trigger them, how it affects them, and how AI is amplifying that. And so I want to give this to everyone. And I have the link to where it can be downloaded. And I'm going to put it.
Oh, we lost you.
Um,
You froze.
Zoom.
You froze for a second. You're back.
You're back.
You're back.
Oh, okay. Yes, I was saying that I'm going to put that link to download in the Facebook group, for this show, as well as in the Zoom. Sorry,
Awesome.
I had it handy and now I can't there. So that's why I created this ebook because I think it's really, really important. Okay, I'm copying it in here in the Zoom. And then I'm also putting it in the Facebook group.
Awesome.
Thank you. It's
Well,
such an
you're
important topic.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Adriana.
Oh,
While you're
thank
doing
you.
that, I was going to real quickly do a spin for one of the books that Olivia's giving out, her earthing, while you were
Oh, yes.
entering those real quick here. Let's share the screen. Well, actually, okay, there it goes. And here we go. This is for one of the earthing books from Olivia. All right. That one. And so that will probably be a gift certificate for a book. Yeah, winner. And I know she had 2, so we're going to go ahead and do one more spin for the book.
Oh, me.
I love this group.
Oh, the Snow Buddy.
Teddy bear.
Red is like my color.
Okay.
I want to find one of those where it just dynamically reduces or removes
Yuli won. But she might already
Yay.
have the book. So and Olivia was also giving away her throw. So we'll do that. Okay, there we go. Let me reshuffle. Starly? you are the winner.
I'm a winner. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited.
It was so cool when I won Renee's book last year.
Oh, I didn't expect to win. Wow, I'm excited.
I know it's crazy that someone that's here won. Adriana,
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to let you know that you have to change the setting. I had to request access, so you can, I think you can change it to as even as a viewer for your book. Adriana, I just
yes.
tried to, yeah,
Oh.
it said you said you have to request access. I think you can change the setting to anyone you share the link with, I think.
Yeah, I thought I had done that. So let me go ahead and go back in
See,
and,
good thing
check.
good thing I
Oh, yes,
I
thank you.
tried.
Thank you so
So,
much.
yeah.
And do reach out to me if for some reason you're not able to see it. It's like
No,
I've got
and
so many windows because I was monitoring this and that. And
oh, there are so many windows open on my side too. I have with 2 monitors. I have windows open everywhere. Also, Jen wasn't able to
Me
stay
too.
on because she had a doctor's appointment, but she was giving a free gift to everybody, and it's called Brain MD. It's a stress quiz that she sent to share with everyone. It's another free gift. And then Mahima, I'm trying to pull up
Lots
her
of
free
free
gift.
goodies here. Lots of
I
free
know, to the
Yes.
entire group. So anybody that wanted those. And then Mahima sent me, because they're traveling right now, her and her husband, and she said, we're happy to offer the free 6 stages of human evolution as a gift for the community. And I will be sharing that later here.
Evolution to the human of the human community. Wait,
Yeah, 6 stages of human evolution as a gift for the community. So,
Okay.
and I'll share that link here.
And who was that from?
From Mahima.
How do you
She's
spell?
AHIA.
AHAINA. Okay. Got it. Okay, I just
Okay,
put it in the chat.
Yeah, sorry, Irene, can
Thank
you
you.
try that again? You know, the link.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry
Yep,
about
there
that.
it is. It opened.
Okay.
Perfect. No, see,
Okay, wonderful.
good thing. Right?
Yeah, that you mentioned
Now it's
it,
awesome.
because
Yeah, now
otherwise
everyone's
I wouldn't have, noticed.
exactly. Yeah, that's why.
I made a
See?
little change and then I uploaded it again, so that's why it
Yeah.
lost.
Nope, I have
Awesome.
it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Well, I have to go. I have to go for my walk before
Thank
I
you. Thanks everyone for being
nice to
here.
see you.
And
Yes, thank you for being here,
I'm
everyone.
doing
It
a
was so
special
amazing.
gift for the 3 of you. So we'll do after the
Ooh.
recording. DM I'll tell you, or we can turn the recording off and I'll tell you.
Okay, bye everybody.
So
Bye.
I want to say
Well, bye
say
from
goodbye to
the
our community.
Facebook.
Thank you for being here and celebrating. Thank you, Starly, for helping out. Thank you, Adriana, for co-hosting. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here, Irene. Everybody has been wonderful. We have a wonderful group here. And I do appreciate when everybody participates and you post, you comment, you interact, you share photos. We love it. That's how we get to know each other. And people would be surprised how like-minded we all are in this group. And it is always great to share. Share with friends and family, somebody that you would think would enjoy our group. So we're always welcoming more members. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. And any last thoughts, anybody? So, all right. Thank you. I hope everyone has a great week and you get to go outside and enjoy some sunshine. And we'll be back next week with another